Jason, today's episode of the Lee's Summit Town Hall podcast is brought to the good people by Budget Blinds of Lee's Summit.
Budget Blinds!
I love being in the studio and hearing that.
I do. And here, it's summer, man.
It is summer, so it's time to open those shades up.
Or maybe even
let the light in.
Close the shades down because the sun's blasting through your windows and making your room hot.
And the best way to do that, Jason, is to get those signature series shades from who?
Our good friends at Budget Blinds of Lee's Summit. All hail those robot shade overlords.
If you're ready to give them a visit and upgrade the window treatments and, frankly, a lot of other home decor stuff.
And be able to mess with it on your phone.
Go visit our good friends at Budget Blinds of Lee's Summit. Tell them Jason and Nick sent you.
Hello again, and welcome to Lee's Summit Town Hall, a weekly podcast about what you can do to make a difference. I am Jason Norbury, and as always, I am joined by a man who's going to finish this podcast with a walk-off worthy of Salvador Perez.
Oh, if only.
It's Nick Parker, the publisher of Link to
I
Lee's
just
Summit.
saw Salvi's in the Home Run Derby, too.
I know. He's like, well, look, he is Mr. Royal now.
Well,
he's the current generation's Mr. Royal.
This is true. If you remember the doldrums of the 90s and the early 2000s, we're kind of back there again.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a little more hope, only because we've recently seen good things.
Right. We're not 25 years out from good things.
Right. But yeah, Salvi, you're our man.
He does it all. He wins on the camera. He water dunks the
and a former resident of our community.
There we go. So he's all there. Link to Lee's Summit is the source for all the news you need about our very fine city, and our unofficial sponsor today, it's grilling.
Hey, it's grilling season.
Grilling season. It's outside time. You can grill with gas. You can grill with charcoal. You can do the smoker. You can do the fancy propane griddle like you have bought yourself there, Nick.
I love that thing.
And whatever it is, get yourself outside and do some
Actually,
cooking.
tonight, I think because of you, either tonight or tomorrow, firing up the griddle, steak and veggies.
There you go. That's the way to get it done. So I got a grill, an old style Weber kettle for Father's Day. I have not had an opportunity to unpack because my Father's Day was spent at the scout camp, followed by about a week there as well. So haven't had a chance to crack that out, but I may very well be getting out here in the next couple of days to find an excuse to set something on fire.
In this beautiful Lee's Summit weather.
Absolutely. All right. What's going on, Nick?
Jason, not a lot going on, which is kind of a good thing. Look, we're in July. Last week, City Council passed its budget. So, hey, if you work at City Hall, you're still getting paid.
You're still getting paid.
City Council passed its budget for the next fiscal year, which was awesome. All of that went through. At City Council on Tuesday night, there's one note I want to do. Jason, it's one of our favorite things to do. We get to give a good on you.
We do. And look, here's one of the things that we talked about this once or twice through the course of the pandemic, but our very own Stephen Arbo, city manager of Lee's Summit, was appointed to be one of the co-chairs of the Midwest Area Regional Council, Mark's COVID task force, or how to deal with that, emergency services and response and all that. And he was one of the chairs of that. And so not only was he doing yeoman's work trying to figure out how to make the city balance the books for the course of the year, he was also working on that. And he got recognition from Mark last night at council. That recognition was put forth on the public record for the city of Lee's Summit and forced all those folks there on the dais to probably give a little bit of overdue credit to Steve Arbo.
So good on you, Mr. Steve Arbo, not only for all the work you did here in our community, but obviously helping leadership of that team throughout the entire Kansas City area through Mark. So great job, great work. That was nice to see him get a little recognition there.
Can we call him Captain COVID now from now on?
No.
Okay. But I want to. But
no.
Really, I'm going to slip that in next time we have Steve on, which probably therefore guarantees we'll never have Steve on for an interview ever again.
I think he's done with us.
He's coming. He's like, I'd come on, but Jason's going to do that thing, isn't he? Oh, yes, he is.
We'll flip over to the school district side of things. Just a quick note that the school board has not yet scheduled its closed session meeting to make its decision on the case concerning former coach and teacher Joe Oswald. Just a reminder, they have until July 13th to hold that meeting, and then 48 hours after that meeting to announce whatever their decision is, whether that's to support the decision of the superintendent, Dr. David Buck, to terminate the teacher, or to decide that maybe he overreached and reinstate the teacher. So we're still waiting to hear that news. If you want to catch up, you can check out linktolleesummit.com. Our reporter, Cody Thorne, had a pretty good story on the hearing, kind of summing up what was said and how that case is playing out.
And if our luck holds, that announcement will come like 20 minutes after we record and publish the episode next week, and we'll be there for it. So
I think I feel confident in this. If that were to happen, Jason, we'll be back on.
Yeah, we'll come back.
We'll come back.
We might. Hey, here's an idea, and I'm going to put this out there. We might even go live.
Ooh, that might be kind of fun.
If the timing works.
If the timing works. Hey, one other quick note. We're going to switch back to City Hall. Also, at last night's City Council meeting, Jason, if you remember, we've talked about this a few times. The mayor has added a commission under the city's mayoral appointed commissions and councils. It's the Commission for Diversity and Inclusion. Last night, they kind of basically set a big date. They put a big date out there, and that's going to be June 3rd of 2022. And what that date is by that time, the commission will have prepared and be ready to present a needs assessment to the full city council. So kind of basically when we look at the diversity and inclusion throughout the community, where do we stand? What are some holes that need to be filled? Where can we be better in this? So that will be by June 3rd, 2022. Right. If you'd like to pay attention, Jason, here's the part that you and I like. If you would like to be a part of this conversation or listen into the conversation that this commission does, it's all open to the public. It is a city commission, so check the city's website for those meeting dates, and you can play along.
Right. Just to keep it said, the way the commission was initially done, its resolution gave it a year to do its work, and this was adjusting and setting that date for when that year, the clock started ticking, because their first real business meeting was June 3rd of this year, and so they're giving themselves that full year to get their work done.
I think this will be a good conversation. We've had, Jason, obviously through the school district, there's been a lot of public dialogue and commentary on issues of equity and diversity and inclusion, and I think what the mayor's trying to do with this commission is broaden that a little bit to look where the city stands and talk about the community as a whole. So it's going to be, I think it will be very interesting for us to watch how these conversations shape and what comes from them.
Right. And I like the fact that they have a year, right? That it's not one of these commissions that's just going to run along and not actually accomplish something. They have a year, they have a task, so they know what they want to get done. It's very much in that same style, I think, that the Charter Commission was formed and reassembled every 10 years or so to go through. We get a time limit, we have a task, we have output that we want to put out at the end, and that'll give us that. And that'll give us X. And I think this will be an interesting sort of instructive. A lot of the things that have happened in the district's diversity and equity and inclusion work is stuff that we don't see like as a product or an end product. It's stuff that happens at the HR level, stuff that happens in the individual classrooms with the teachers and those sorts of things.
Teacher training.
Right. There's not like a public output that we necessarily see. And this is not a criticism of R7, although maybe they should do a better job of celebrating their wins on that front. But as a whole, that it's a difficult thing to say, here's X or here's a list of things that we need to do or are dealing with for lots of different reasons. So it'll be interesting to see a list of things like, here are ways the city can do better in being diverse and inclusive in its recruiting and whatever else it's doing that they come across. So it'll be an interesting, and I think that people who maybe are hesitant or have concerns about this sort of work might be able to see that these are really a lot of the things that we're talking about are small tasks that maybe which just takes a little bit of attention and it gets better. And that's what we're really dealing with. It's not like we're not necessarily going to be have some sort of a radical restructure of the entire HR tree in City Hall. It's really going to be, here we can do these things better in this department and these things better in this department, and we can interact better with our people and hire differently and those sorts of things. And those are all good stuff. And I'll be interested to see what they come up with.
Exactly. And Jason, you and I will be following up, kind of paying attention to this. We encourage everyone else to do that too as a way to be involved in the community. So make sure you check out the website for those dates and times of those meetings, and we will keep everyone else informed as they go along as well. Jason, that's it, man.
Yeah, it's a short week this week.
It's a short week. We had a holiday last weekend. I think we're all a little tired. We're all ready, though, to get back into it. So we will see what's happening coming up in the next few weeks. That'll wrap us up for this week. We'll talk to everybody next time.